So a member of the English establishment, a politician, has been brutally murdered, and there's a lot of talk about it on the internet, but not much talk, as you might expect, in the mainstream media. I would have thought that people in positions of power might be nervous about something like this happening, but apparently not. It's become a minor matter quite quickly. And we're told that this elderly lady, and I say lady because, I'm into transvestigation and stuff like that, and I do have a couple of question marks. But she was a right-wing politician on our side, a Christian apparently, living in the wilds of Dartmoor, which is quite an uninhabited part of the country, heathland, high moors, and she lived alone in quite an isolated spot. And somebody broke into her house and struck her over the head 21 times, we are assured, time after time, as though that's of any importance. The first blow would have been sufficient, or repeatedly would have done, but they've said 21, and of course they use numerology. I don't know quite how they've done it. And I began to be a little bit suspicious of the circumstances, because, all the world is a stage. And nobody has really mentioned it, and I have no reason for assuming it, but it could be that this elderly grandee, formerly of the Conservative political party, and I believe latterly of the Reform camp under Mr. Farage, it could be that she's been cast in a conspiratorial role, and she is indeed, or was, or is a co-conspirator. We just don't know what's going on. And if she's a co-conspirator, then she might not have lost her life. We might have just been told that this had happened. We have no way of proving any of this. We just have what is printed in the newspapers or published on the internet. And there are some very interesting anomalies about the whole account. The Prime Minister originally said it was a bungled burglary. Seems hardly likely, given the reported circumstances. And now they're linking it to an attack planned and yet not perpetrated against Mr. Farage, the leader of Reform, and some people think he's a likely candidate for the party that's going to bring Great Britain out of this wickedness, this wicked rule. I'm very sceptical of that claim, but that's his position, just to give an idea, if anybody doesn't know who he is. So she fits, she could have been made almost a caricature of the eccentric. She might have been given a role to play, and she may have played it. I don't know. There's nothing that I know about her that would indicate that she was or is a double agent almost. But the trouble is, we just don't know these things because the news has been reported and found to be fabricated so many times, and the reporting around this event has been so inconsistent and drawing people in all sorts of directions, and just inexplicable that such a thing might happen. It makes me wonder whether we're not being exposed to a little morality tale that's been plotted out and acted out, in which case the lady in question may indeed not have lost her life at all. We've just been told a series of events. Nobody really knows that. I mean, the pathologists and the police that are involved, they certainly don't share any truth, so we just have to take people's word for it. You know, all the world is a stage. This is the problem with it all. They're always trying to weave their web of deception, and if we accept it and fall under the spell, then we are, to a certain measure, we are more easily controllable, more readily controllable, because it's the web that is woven is a web of perception, and the way that we understand reality is reflected in the way that we feel and the way that we act. And you could say in the relationship that we have with Jesus Christ, and you know, the enemy is very keen to weaken our spirits, because he fears the believer. And there are some believers, I don't know how many there are. Maybe there's quite a lot, or maybe there's less than would initially seem to be. But this is the kind of thing that is done and has been done through history. I don't know. I mean, this is just an idea that suddenly occurred to me. How they like to create roles and characters, and how this lady would have fitted quite well with the eccentric single grandee living in the wilds and then getting bludgeoned to death. It has all the trappings of a thriller. All the world is a stage. Shakespeare apparently said that, but whether it was Shakespeare or not, even that is uncertain. God bless this day.